If you don't ask, you won't receive. Once you ask, you open this invisible door and you start to attune your frequency to this new energy.
The truth is, all the answers you need are inside of you.
Angels do not have egos. You can't make them mad. You can't make them upset. You can't piss them off. They will not leave you.
How do we access that clear spiritual guidance when the world around us feels so chaotic?
This is the most important thing.
Your connection to your spirit guides already exists. You just need to know how to tune in. And maybe you have questions. You're wondering, are the signs that you're seeing actually real? Is there a way to hear your guides more clearly? And can the people that you've lost still reach you? The answer to all of that is yes. And in this episode, I'm going to show you how. I've pulled together the most powerful conversations I've had with mediums, psychics, and angel guides. You're going to learn how to ask for signs and actually receive them, and how your loved ones continue to reach out to you even after they've passed, and how to be held by an energy greater than yourself, especially when life feels hard. So when we talk about guides, are they deceased loved ones? Are they souls that have reincarnated, but the soul's still hanging around? What are these guides? Are they angels? What's the differentiation?
Yes to all.
Yep.
However, they have different roles.
Yeah.
In the way that I channel them.
Okay.
When we are talking about ascended masters, archangels, other forms of life, planetary forms of life, you're talking about higher guides. They're very to the point. They are here to get you on your path. Angelic guides, a little bit more in the miraculous realm, in that they can interfere a little bit more. I truly believe that that's where miracles come from. That's how miracles happen, is in that angelic realm. And then our loved ones are here for more comfort. I am with you. I haven't left your side. I see what you are doing. A little less directive in the way that I channel. Been channeling loved ones for a very long time now. And I find that they are more about reassuring you. They might tap into what you're doing because they see our lives in vignettes, but I find them a little less directive. Guides, however, very directive, giving you play-by-play if you want to say yes to it, but they're expecting you to do the work. So I want to be very clear. Your guides are not doing this work for you. They are highlighting how you yourself can tap into them, hear your higher self and your inner knowing with more clarity, and then start to implement what it is that they're trying to show you so that you can achieve what you're looking to do in your life.
You're watching right now. There's no accident that your angel, particularly your guardian angel, brought you to this video right here, right now. This is a gift you've been given. And so I want to really start to give you this opportunity with Radleigh to know how your angels can be called upon when you need help, because I think that's a big one. So many of us are suffering. I'm going to throw my hand in the air. You know, there's just suffering. Like, being a human, having this human experience, particularly in this day and age, is a daily assault of extreme divisiveness, trauma, imagery that is absolutely horrific. We cannot wake up each day without being assaulted with, if you open your phone in any way, shape, or form, with judgment, comparison, separation, attack, violence, just complete division. It's a time where we need help. So how can we call on our guardian angels for help?
I wish I could sugarcoat any of that, and I can't. The words you are using are strong words, and yet they are 100% accurate. And I ask myself all the time, it's like, why did I pick now to be incarnated? What was the thing? Well, it's like, if you're incarnated now, you have got quite the purpose that you are meant to be creating. That doesn't mean that you have to be like some master person on planet Earth. You can have a powerful influence in what is happening to the people around you, but you're still a master. And so when we feel ourselves in this sense of assault, when we feel ourselves in this sense of it's too much, that's when it's important to take a moment and connect.
What I'm hearing too, and this is just channeling now, is that they're saying, ask for the help. Don't, it's as simple as that. They're almost like writing it on a chalkboard, like, ask for help, exclamation point. It's, and then they're underlining it 25 times. It's literally as simple as that. If you don't ask, you won't receive. As Abraham says, ask and it is given, ask and it is given. So these angels, particularly the guardian angels, are just waiting for you to ask them for help. And once you ask, you open this invisible door and you start to attune your frequency to this new energy. And I'm writing the first chapter of my new book right now, Radleigh. And it's really, really just involved with this one affirmation: I am willing to heal. And saying it in prayer, saying it in meditation. And I started using it this morning. Part of my experience writing this new book is actually living the practices. So I'm practicing the practices every single day to make sure that they're locked in for me, but they're being given to me. And so even just saying, I need help, just like I'm willing to heal, I need help, it takes like such a weight off. It's such a relief to just accept in the moment, I'm not alone. Help is here. Take that in. I'm not alone. Help is here. So take that thing right now that you have been controlling, take that thing that's been ruminating, take that thing you've been obsessing about, that relationship, that money issue, that physical condition, and just ask for help. Just say, I need help. And then breathe and see how that feels.
It's literally that easy and also that complicated. It's important to ask, but it's also important to listen.
Right.
You can't ask and then run away.
Right.
You can't ask for a moment of clarity and then throw yourself into the deep end of the pool of the truth of incarnation and life at this particular moment. You have to bob your head up out of the water every once in a while and go, what am I hearing? What am I feeling? What am I seeing? What do I just know?
What about those moments, Radleigh, when the angel just intervenes, which I know is rare because we have to ask typically, and it's our free will to invoke that energy of the angels, particularly the guardian angel. But there are times, and there's many stories and books written about this, and you've written about this, where there's just angel interventions.
What's 100%?
And can we just speak about what happens when they're just like, you're not asking, but I'm coming through?
Right. I believe it's because it's a turning point in your life. And it's like, perhaps they are watching you drift farther and farther away from the intended experience that you want to have. And so it's literally like, oh, I don't know. They're getting deeper and deeper in the pool. I don't know when they're going to bring their head up above water and it is time to swim. So they're going to like hit you with something. It could be life-threatening. We hear a lot about people talking about life-threatening experiences, but it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
It may not even feel like a turning point to you, but it is.
How do we access that clear spiritual guidance when the world around us feels so chaotic?
This is the most important thing, is find quiet. Come off the cell phones, come off the TV, come off the social media, come away from everything that is distraction and noise, and find peace and sit in the space. Breathe, allow the breath to guide you, allow that little voice to whisper. It doesn't have to be loud. In fact, if it is loud, just go back into that peaceful side, because when you can be in a full alignment of what is it that I want in this moment? Oh, maybe I want some tea. Oh, maybe I just want to sit and listen to the birds outside. Oh, maybe I just want to just rest. When you're listening to that guidance, it doesn't have to be this big epiphany of wisdom. But what you're doing is you're getting into the guidance of yourself and the rhythm of your own soul. And then everything starts from that point onwards.
I'm going to acknowledge that and say that what I'm hearing also is give yourself permission to be still. Yeah. There's what I'm seeing is almost like someone lying on the sofa with like a big X across it, right? Like, oh, I can't slow down. I've got to keep pushing. I don't have time for that. But what I'm seeing is like ripping that X off of that vision and saying it's mandatory. Yes. They're showing me lying on the sofa, which is my meditation with my cat. And my cat hums like her purr for usually 45 minutes to an hour at midday every single day. So I say, Jimmy, let's meditate. I lie down, not sit up straight. I lie down. I start to tune in and my cat heals me, right? So it really did take a lot to give myself permission to have that abundance of time, that full hour of stillness, and to see that as success, not as, fucking off, right?
Yeah.
Like we need to take that seriously.
The thing is, if you didn't have that, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing.
I wouldn't be able to.
You wouldn't be able to. And that's what people don't realize, is that without having that breath, that space, mine is first thing in the morning, last thing at night. If I didn't have that, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm able to do.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to write the books in the way that you're writing. And we also have to remember that we're people too. We have our own lives.
Yeah.
And we try to balance everything as everybody else should, and they do. So it's taking that time, going for a walk, having that meditation, breathing, sleeping, napping, dancing, frolicking, all of that stuff that we do. I think it's really important.
It's mandatory, because I keep getting this image of, if we don't have a spiritual foundation at this time, we're going to be like a fish out of water. We're going to feel like we don't have breath. We're going to not know where to turn.
Yeah.
The experience of developing your own practice in stillness is going to be required.
Yeah. Oh, completely.
It's going to be required.
Yeah.
The urgency that I feel, I know I'm not alone in. And I know that other people that are watching are feeling that urgency of, I don't want to miss the momentum of the time, but I also don't want to be numb to it.
Yeah.
And that feeling of just wanting to wake up, get connected and feel directed is overwhelming when you don't know what to do with that. Let's ask the guys what they want us to know about that.
We want to teach you patience.
Yeah.
We want to teach you patience. Patience is something that needs to come through here. You can't do it all, but yet you harness the ideas and let the ideas transcend into bigger ideas, so therefore they can create massive waves, because those ideas are going to create massive waves. They're the rippling effect. But patience is the most important thing, because it allows your soul to rest and develop. And so the urgency of what you're feeling is definitely there, but that things have to shift a little bit more. Things have to shift a little more for now new ideas to come out.
They're talking directly to me.
They're talking directly to you. Sorry.
Sure, everybody else as well. But they're saying, slow down, sister.
Slow down. Yeah, slow down. Yeah. And I think it's important that, yes, it is for you, but I think there's a lot of people
everybody.
out there
I'm just feeling
it. You're feeling it,
Yeah.
because we're in the room together, but I think it's for everyone. You know?
It's the message I needed to hear, though.
Yeah.
Because when you feel urgency, there's a tendency to want to get it done now. But there is, and patience doesn't mean you wait 20 years. Patience means you just take 5 more extra steps, or you slow down for an hour. Yeah.
And if I may, as Lisa just explained what I was seeing, is I kept seeing this patience, like, I've got to get, no, wait. Because I kept seeing these little ideas coming up as little buds from the grass. And I kept seeing these little flowers coming up, and that actually they had to grow. One had to grow another, and then collectively they will become this beautiful bouquet. And you had to just have patience for all of them to grow.
Okay.
So all of these ideas have to come out.
How can we know our own personal soul contract?
There's a lot of ways. Meditation's a great way, because the truth is, all the answers you need are inside of you.
That's right.
And so if you can find a way to quiet your mind and get out of your own way, you will tap into that truth of who you are and why you're here, your soul contract. So meditation is one way. Dreams, you can invite in your higher self and your team in spirit to help remind you. Okay. A lot of times dreams are great because the mind is quiet and out of the way, and it's easier sometimes to drop in. And sometimes it's just divine spirit, show me, remind me. One more thing I'm feeling really strong to say is that journaling is a very, very effective tool for all of us to access our higher self, so that we can remember on a soul level who we are, why we're here, our purpose. Okay. So instead of rushing to someone or something externally, perhaps if you're feeling called to do this, sit down and write.
I often will write at the top of a page, what would you have me learn from this? And that's obviously leaning into help me fulfill my soul contract, because that's all about the healing and the learning. Archangels are powerful, divine entities, and we can call upon them for support and guidance, especially when we need protection and healing. These archangels are in the space now. I want to let them speak through us to give some specific messages, okay? To speak to us right now about how we fulfill our highest purpose at this time. What I'm hearing, I think, is Michael. Actually, I know it is because I feel it almost like a high presence of a big energy behind me.
Yep.
And so the message I'm hearing is that our purpose is already inside of us. We came here with clear direction and purpose. It's not something we have to seek. It's something that we return to. And returning to that purpose is going to require a stillness now at this time and require a receptivity and a way of listening. I just see sort of like this, like leaning in and listening for the next right action and the clear direction. And he's saying, we're always giving you the direction of your soul's path. You just need to ask and listen, which is, this is the theme we keep coming back to. The bigger thing I'm also hearing is that fulfilling our purpose in this lifetime is really about letting whatever actions we take in the human form to be spiritually led, to come almost like we're listening through this ear and then taking the next right action. So the purpose isn't like I'm supposed to be the president of the United States or I'm supposed to be, your purpose is to let spirit guide your directions and let spirit lead your intentions and let spirit lead, spirit being angels and guides and even just the spiritual realm of the loving energy, to be the antenna through which you make your actions in the world. That is, it's almost like I see them just like coming into the ear, just like whispering and like taking you in the next right action. Anything you want to share about that?
I think that's absolutely true. And it's very difficult in this world because we're living in this time of social media and we're living in this time of too much information. Information is coming up to us as though we had taken the lid off the fire hydrant and we're standing right in front of it. And so in order to be able to be attuned to the messages that we're getting from the angels, we have to envelop ourselves in a place of peace. This is where Shamuel can be of assistance because each archangel does lean in on each other. This is an indisputable team. It cannot be shaken. They have no egos. Angels do not have egos. You can't make them mad. You can't make them upset. You can't piss them off. They will not leave you. You can pretend that they left you, but that's part of your experience. It's not reality.
Yeah.
And so each archangel can lean in on the other. So if you're in this place where it's like, I can't hear Michael and I really need my purpose, then maybe you need Shamuel to provide you some peace. Maybe you need Ariel to help you to manifest a space of peace.
Yeah.
Each one leans in on the other. You need Uriel to give you the epiphany that you need in order to be able to find the peace, in order to be able to get to Michael.
Right. And really decide for yourself which archangel is the one that's really meant for me in this moment. For me, and by the way, you can have a million angels working with you at this time, but right now, my archangel that I am calling upon right now, the archangel Uriel, is here to help me with this emotional change and this transcendence of what was to stepping into what is. And I want you to think about that for yourself. Which archangel do you need most right now? And just start practicing, just saying thank you, Michael. Thank you, Raphael. Thank you, Uriel. Thank you, Ariel. Thank you to the archangel that you need most at this time. Sometimes I have this vision, and you've written about this, but we're right in sitting at the table with our guides before we enter this world. And we're sitting at, however we see it, it's our forum, it's our council. And we're holding this playbook of our life in front of us. And I feel like we're sitting there and we're saying, I'm ready to do that. I'm ready to do that. I'm ready to do that as part of our soul's journey. And then boom, we enter into the world that's going to create all the obstacles that are going to give us the assignments to fulfill that soul journey for the lifetime. How would you and your guides interpret that?
So what I'm hearing to say is that our soul knows this is all one big illusion on some level. And it's a very temporary experience. And so sometimes we're overly ambitious and our soul knows we can handle it. And sometimes we come back in to body and we disconnect.
Yeah.
And so we go into our ego, our human self. And so life can feel very overwhelming. And we wonder, why would I have chosen this contract, especially the harder contracts where you're faced with almost the impossible, like losing a child or a debilitating illness, okay, or health condition. Like that's a very advanced soul who signs up for something like that. But on a soul level, we know God never gives us more than we can handle. We didn't choose more than we can handle. But it's really about being in alignment with your soul self, okay? Because if we disconnect from source, whatever you want to call God, universe, it's an energy of unconditional, pure love. When we disconnect from that and we're in our human self or our ego self, it can be dark and lonely and confusing and overwhelming. And so the whole goal is to be one with the light, to come back to the God, goddess within you. We all are a spark of the divine. And when we align with that every day, and we remember that we are one with this energy, but we also have this team in spirit, a group of angels and higher ascended masters, sometimes departed loved ones who are there to support us through that process, it gives us the strength, the courage, and the wisdom to accomplish whatever it is those soul lessons are, whatever karma we came here to heal and balance.
The people that are in that place though right now, that they're really suffering with the diagnosis, or they have the suicidal ideation, or they're in that breakdown moment, they might be listening to this and being like, screw this. Like, I don't want to have to live this soul choice, or why would I choose this? Or, it may feel hard and overwhelming for that person to accept.
Which makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Because they're in such a place of despair and desperation and darkness.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know my story. My father took his life. My grandmother did. Like, I unfortunately I know all too well about suicide. And the thing is when we are in such a dark place, we're fragmented. Okay. And what I'm hearing my guides say right now, and this is really important, is that we must call our energy back, call our energy home to ourselves, because we can leave it in all sorts of spaces and places and with other people. And that's where darkness comes in. Okay. And now there are some cases where people are genuinely mentally imbalanced and they need professional help. I'm a big proponent. Like, that's super important.
Well, that's part of God's work. Exactly.
Exactly. Sometimes that is not the case. It's that you are just so fragmented and your energy is, not here in your body. You're not fully embodied. And so you start attracting, whether it's external energies or entities that start impacting our thinking.
How can we spiritually protect ourselves?
Something that's really important that we always want to say, I'm in agreement with source and only source. I'm in agreement with the light and only the light. And when you do that, all darkness goes away.
That's how we can spiritually protect ourselves.
Yes. I completely have empathy and compassion for people who are in a really dark place. Suicidal ideation, it's real.
Yeah.
And what we have to remember is we're not alone. It only takes inviting in the divine and our team in spirit to help us, show us, guide us, lead us. And sometimes that shows up by a human, an earth angel, who is there to support us through that process. It can show up in a variety of ways, but we have to, because of our free will, we have to remember to invite it in, whether it's conscious or unconscious. Sometimes your soul is inviting it in because your soul self knows you may be down and out, but you are not done.
If we wanted to meet our guides right now, meet with their loved ones in heaven, this is something you typically like to do before one falls asleep?
I try to do this. I'm always a little careful about leaving yourself wide open before you go to sleep. But this one you can do because it invites them in to possibly come into dream state too. But you could do it anytime.
What's this practice called again?
It's meeting hours in heaven. Keep your feet planted on the ground. And let's put our palms up so that we're receiving the energy. And I want you to take a nice deep breath in. Release it out. Take another deep breath in. Release it out. And I want you to start to envision a loved one that you'd like to make connection with. Get really detailed. Remember the color of their eyes, how their hair may or may not have been styled, what they're wearing, how you knew them in the best parts of their life. Taking a nice deep breath in and releasing it out, I want you to now envision a place that relates to the two of you. Maybe it's a home that you both spent time in. Maybe it's the beach where you enjoyed spending time together, but get really detailed. Maybe you're sitting at the kitchen table having coffee with your loved one. I want you to now invite that loved one in and have them sit with you and allow a conversation to unfold. Feel free in this moment to ask them any questions you may have. Maybe you just want to hold their hand and tell them that you love them and you miss them. As you're breathing and enjoying your time together, allow their messaging to come to you. Breathing deeply, feeling relaxed. Thank your loved one for showing up. Maybe you'll give them a hug or tell them you'll be back. Invite them into your dreams and know that you can come back here anytime you want. Simply by closing your hands, opening your eyes, you're returning back to the space from which we started.
It was so good.
Did you see her?
Yes, she said, your hand on your heart, I am there. When your mind is soft, I am there. When you let go, I am there.
Were you in the kitchen?
Yes.
It's like I'm psychic.
We were in her kitchen having melon.
Mm-hmm. You know I do this for a living, right?
I know, she's psychic. My God. You saw us in the kitchen. Creeper on my vision.
It's like all up in your meditation. But that's a really easy practice. And it's a starter meditation that I give people to do, because not only do you get to meet up with your loved one, but it's a great way to develop the third eye.
Yes, I want
because
people
you
to
trust
take that.
the imagery, you trust what you're seeing because you've seen it before, and you're able to sort of work that imagination in there. And then because the important part of opening the third eye is so that the I can see them. I can make that connection right here.
So through that meditation,
Clairvoyance.
we're opening up the third eye.
You are. Any type of meditation that you can get really visual with will help you open up to that clairvoyancy, that third eye, the I, which will help you again in dream state. Dream state's a wonderful way to focus in on third eye. So write your dreams down. Try to work with them in awake state.
Yes.
Too. That's very important. Break them down in awake state. And then if you can, because we don't have all the clairs, everybody doesn't have them all at once. Oh, my ear is ringing. As I'm just about to say, pay attention to the clairaudience and what you are hearing. You can write a letter to your loved ones as well. We didn't discuss this part. But I find this to be a great practice to do, is to write the name of your loved one at the top of the page. Maybe we say a little prayer that goes along with that. Dear so-and-so, I am looking to connect with you and I am ready with love from the greatest good and for the highest good of all concerned. Can we connect now? And then you can either write to them or you can write from them. So allow the words to either flow through you and out and write them on the page without stopping, or sit and receive whatever it is that you are seeing, hearing, and feeling and write that down.
Okay.
This starts to help make that connection on the frequency that they're looking to get you to. But like I said, grief can be tricky. So honor your grief. Don't let anyone tell you how to grieve. And if you can try to walk in tandem with it and not let it get above you, it'll be okay. And they'll be able to get through to you.
Yes, 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 and yes. Beautiful. I love that so much.
Yeah.
I would recommend that anyone who's wanting to have that kind of relationship with a deceased loved one, feels like the grief is overwhelming them, to do that
Absolutely.
meditation that we just did. Maybe make it a practice.
It's hard. It's very emotional. When I do that in a big group, it's a very emotional meditation. This was a quick version of it. So when you do it, if it's too much, just come out of it.
Yeah.
And go back to it another time, or maybe envision it with your eyes open. It's not so intense, and you can write at the same time. But I do encourage you to let the tears flow if they come. Let the emotions come up and get out, because your loved one will be right there holding you, rubbing your back, and being there for you. And
your emotions are an antenna. They're a sign for you that that deceased loved one is with you and guiding
love.
you. I hope this episode reminded you that you are never alone. Your guides, your angels, and the loving energy of the universe are always available to you, guiding you, and here to help you reconnect to your truth. This is a moment in time when having this spiritual wisdom is necessary. It's mandatory. And I'm so excited to invite you to something. I created a new live event, something I've never done before, and it's going to be on November 21st, and it's called Dear Guides Live. I will be joined by the mediums that you met here in this episode, MaryAnn DiMarco, Radleigh Valentine, and Rebecca Rosen. And together, we are going to guide you through a full day immersion into your own spiritual connection, your inner wisdom, that sense of knowing, and a direct line to your spirit guides. You can get all the details at deargabby.com/Dear Guides Live, or you can click the link in the description to get access now. This event is definitely going to sell out, so I don't want you to miss it. Go to deargabby.com/Dear Guides Live. And if you want to deepen this connection even more, I've made a free spirit guides meditation for you. So you can go to deargabby.com/spirit guides. I've also linked to it in the description. And if this episode is resonating with you and you've stuck around all the way to the end, make sure that you are subscribed to this channel, because every week we're sharing conversations and practices and spiritual guidance to help you feel more connected, supported, and aligned. I'd also love to hear from you in the comments. What sign, message, or moment in this episode resonated with you most? I love you so much. Stick around for the miracles. If you like this video, go watch my episode with Rebecca Rosen on soul contracts. Check it out here.